Hi, 7th grade. We're moving on to section 3 of chapter 2, which is multiplying with scientific notation. Okay, I'm on page 76, 77 in your books. We want to remember that scientific notation, so I used a lot of shorthand. Make sure that in your notes what you write makes sense to you. Okay, so if it doesn't make sense, don't copy mine word for word. So scientific notation is when the first factor is between 1 and 10. And the second factor is a power of 10. And then I have just a little example, right? Like 4.57, so 4.75, sorry, 0.75, is between 1 and 10. And we have a power of 10 to the negative 2. It can be positive or negative, right? And still be in scientific notation. Okay, so that was in, 2-1. So now we're going to be multiplying numbers that are already in scientific notation, and then we need to make sure that our answer is also in scientific notation. Okay? Make sure I'm on. So write the product, write the answer in scientific notation. So when we multiply, we're going to take the first two factors and multiply them together, okay? So 5 times 9, and then we're gonna take the powers of 10 and multiply them together, because remember yesterday's lesson said if the bases are the same, you can add the powers. So we're gonna take these two and combine them, so 10, and then we have 6 plus 3, right? Because they're both a power of 10, so our bases are the same. So the second part of this is going to be, for now, 10 to the power of 9. Okay? And if we multiply this, we get 45, right? 5 times 9 is 45. We have to put the answer in scientific notation, and 45 is not between 1 and 10. So that means we have to make it. The decimal is at the end, right? So we are going to switch it to between so that we can get a number between 1 and 10. When that turns into 4.5, that means we've added 1 power of 10. Right? We move the decimal place 1 space. So in order for it to still be equal to 45, 4.5 is multiplied by 10 one time. Okay, so 45 and 4.5 times 10 to the 1 power, those two numbers are equal. They're the same. And then we have this that we need to also combine, okay? We can't have, it's not completed if we still have two bases that are the same. So we have our first part, which is between 1 and 10, 4.5. That's a good answer. And then we need to combine the last two. So we're going to end up with 10 to the 10th power. They're not all going to be this tricky, but I wanted to make sure that you saw at least one, okay? Some of them are going to give you simple answers, and the next example is a simpler one. We will do one more tricky one before we're finished. This one's very basic, okay? Example 2. 3 times 10 to the 5th times 2 times 10 to the 8th. So we're going to pull our first factors, so 3 times 2, and then we're going to pull our second factors, so 10 to the 5th times 10 to the 8th. So our powers of 10, I like to do these ones first, but you don't have to, right? Whatever makes sense to you. Sorry. So 10 to the power of 5 plus 8 is equal to 10 to the power of 13. And then we have 3 times 2, which is 6. And 6 is a number between 1 and 10. So all we have to do is write those two parts together. So 6 times 10 to the power of 13. Very simple, Okay. Let's do one more. I don't want to call them tricky, but just that extra step, okay, where you have to add that decimal. Let's do 12, and then this time it's times 8 times 10 to the power of 20. So not 2 sets of parentheses, not 2 sets of scientific notation. So we're going to multiply the two numbers together. So we have 12 times 8, and some of you are really good with math and you know these on the top of your head, and some of us maybe aren't as good. It doesn't matter, but whatever work you need to do, you should leave on your paper, okay? So we have 96 times 10 to the power of 20. There's nothing to combine for our powers of 10, so it's just going to stay the same. But now our final step needs to be to check whether it's our answer, our final product, is in scientific notation, okay? Which in this case it's not, right? 96 is not between 1 and 10. So that means to make it between 1 and 10, I have to take the decimal, which is at the end of 96, and move it to the middle. And if I do that, 9.6 is my new number times 10 to the 1 power, because I moved it one place, so I have to add, right, to make it the same. 96 is the same as 9.6 times 110. And then I had this part, so I have to bring that down. Can't forget it. And then I have to combine these two bases. So my final answer is going to be 9.6 times 10 to the 21st power. All right, guys, if you have any questions, come see me for office hours. I'm going to have you try. You should try to do this homework right now. Keep it fresh. Sometimes, you know, it's good to take a break, but I think that this will be easier if you do it right after these notes. So the homework is going to come on from the numbers on page 78. And if you look, we're going to do 7 through 12 all today. Okay? Be sure to take pictures of your notes and pictures of your homework, and make sure that you send them to me. Okay? Let me know if you have questions.